Premium cars come in all shapes and sizes, from hatchbacks and sedans to estates and even SUVs. But BMW's Gran Turismo models occupy a rather unique niche.
It's a fact that South Africans don't buy station wagons, mainly because of our obsession with SUVs. But what about buyers that don't need the all-terrain capability and don't like the gung-ho stance of an SUV and don't want to go for the fuddy-duddy image that's associated with station wagons either? Well, they now have a new option, and it's called the BMW 3 Series Gran Turismo.
The Gran Turismo, or GT for short, is meant to offer the best of all motoring genres in a single package. More particularly, it promises the seemingly impossible: sporty dynamics, stretch-out comfort, lavish luxury, spacious practicality, and a healthy dose of stylish individualism. In doing so, it's attempting to create an all-new genre that one could label the Fastback Activity Vehicle, or FAV.
The Gran Turismo badge is nothing new to BMW, but the larger 5 GT that pioneered it has not been the most successful vehicle for the brand, mainly because it's quite aesthetically challenged. Now, the 3 GT is a much sportier, much more compact, and certainly more aesthetically convincing vehicle, but it's still not going to be everybody's motoring cup of tea.
The flowing silhouette of the 3 GT is its most obvious visual hallmark. The tailgate assists in integrating the extended length into the overall design, creating a look that's nicely streamlined. The detailing also confirms that this car remains true to the brand's sporting image. The blade-shaped gills on either side are part of BMW's air curtain system that smooths the airflow around the front of the car, while the big wheels and tyres promise plenty of grip. Even the raised ride height doesn't rob the 3 GT of its dynamic potential, but the cabin is the car's real showpiece.
You really need to step inside the 3 GT to really understand what this vehicle is all about. It's quite a bit longer than the sedan. In overall terms, 200 millimeters, the wheelbase 110 millimeters longer, and most of that has benefited rear legroom and the boot, which is absolutely huge.
There's a generous 520 litres on offer, presented as a large, deep and useful space that can be extended to 1600 litres by folding down the rear seats. And that big motorised tailgate makes access convenient too. The cabin execution is pure BMW, with a particular emphasis on luxury. It emulates the 3 Series in layout and design, while also offering the same choice of modern, sport and luxury trim lines. Standard equipment is comprehensive, but the options list is even longer, including this panoramic glass sunroof.
The 3 Series Gran Turismo is offered with a choice of 4 engines, of which 3 are petrol: the 320i, the 328i and the range-topping 335i. But from a bestseller point of view, the most popular version is likely to be the turbo diesel, the 320d, and part of that reason is 135 kilowatts of maximum power and 380 newton meters of torque. Transmission-wise, 2 choices as well: a 6-speed manual and an 8-speed automatic gearbox.
The good news is that even the 320d delivers on the performance front. The turbo diesel feels zesty and eager, with no lag to speak of and the low-down slugging power of a steam train. It's probably best matched to the 8-speed auto, but with a proviso that the paddle shift option box is ticked, it really does add a satisfying edge to the driving experience. Select sport mode and the cog swaps become quicker and more incisive. Comfort levels are high and all-round visibility excellent, thanks to the raised seating position and the 3 GT's taller stance.
While much of the focus of the 3 Series GT is on luxury, space and versatility, performance is also part of the package, because after all, this is still a 3 Series car. The 320d does the 0 to 100 in 8 seconds, top speed 230 kilometers an hour, but the most impressive of all those figures is the fuel consumption at 4.9 liters per 100 kilometers.
As we've come to expect, however, that figure is unlikely to be matched in real-world driving conditions. Given our experience of this 320d GT, a more realistic expectation would be around 7 litres per 100 kilometres in mixed driving conditions and high 5s per 100 at steady cruising speeds.
The uniqueness of the 3 Series GT means that there's some questions about what it actually feels like to drive. Does it feel like a sedan? Does it feel like an SUV? Maybe an MPV? Well, the answer is it feels very much like a 3 Series. You sit a little bit higher, but it has that same compliance, that same cohesion, and that sportiness that we've come to expect of the F30, and it's very, very competent even when pressing on.
Given that it is larger in every dimension and heavier than the low-slung Touring, the 3GT feels satisfyingly poised and precise. The steering is over-assisted at parking speeds, but becomes more communicative as the speedometer needle moves around the dial. The car feels majestic through smooth, fast sweeps and tidier than expected through the tighter stuff.
BMW no longer sells an estate version of the current generation F33 series, mainly because it couldn't find enough buyers. So this car is meant to fill the gap between those people who still want the dynamics, the style and the image of a 3 Series, but want a bit of extra space and extra practicality. The big question, of course, in this market is whether people will opt for this car rather than an X1 or an Audi Q3, for instance.
Given its talents and its innovation, the 3GT does deserve success. BMW's proven 2-litre turbo diesel has ample muscle while sipping rather than guzzling fuel. The 8-speed auto is the perfect match too. Add engaging road manners and all that space to the mix, and the 320d Gran Turismo impresses on most fronts, but the shape may still be too individual for some.